Will you remember that I sat next to you like this? How do I face you after all the things we have let happen to us? Some nights your words slid through my neck and I relived the past that I don't want to remember. My chest filled with the dark memories that I forcefully drank to kill myself. Every time I visited my graveyard, I moaned to myself, no person deserves this, and I realized that includes even me. Welcome back to the 4 a.m. Talks podcast, and you are listening to Poems with Ramya Velu. How are you all doing? It's been an amazing week, and there is an amazing weekend that's happening. I hope it's happening to you as well. I've been having a relaxing weekend. Trust me, I had a week holiday and I'm just relaxing. And yeah, so here I am with a poem that is very deep that you have listened to a few minutes ago. So the title of the poem that I have decided for this is Same Shade Different Year. So you can ask, why did I name this? Actually, I got inspiration for writing this poem after I listened to Shasha's new single that's out, that's called What the Fuck, WTF. So in that, one of the line is Same Shade Different Year, and I just wrote this and I was like, wow, this seems very cool, and I have bought this for the series of our poems that we are doing. Right now, if you can hear me sounding very different from the usual, you need to know that I'm just starting my day, and I thought, why don't I just do this podcast, because I'm very calm and relaxed and I have a lot of things on my mind to say, and I just don't want to forget this. I usually do it in the evening, and I didn't want to do it in the evening because I have a lot of stuff to say and I don't want to forget it. So either ways, let's get started. So as you all know, that Daisy. So yeah, before we could start, the people who are here for the first time, please go and listen to the previous episodes and come right here to understand this episode, because it is going to give you a powerful message and a powerful picture of what we are exactly talking about. So yeah, let's continue. Daisy. Oh my god, I really love this character Daisy that I'm having here. She's just beautiful, as you guys are. Whoever is listening to my episode today, just know that you guys are beautiful. You guys are wonderful, just like Daisy. Even though Daisy and you are going through major crisis in your life, it doesn't seem to change the fact that you guys are not amazing. You guys are definitely amazing. And as we know, Daisy went to a faraway land, to a hostel, and she experiences different things. She feels that she doesn't belong there, and she goes through a major trauma with her roommates, with her classmates, with her lecturers, with her studies, and you can see how things are just being hard on herself, but she is just in that pace, traveling along with that moment. So if you are someone who's doing the same, if you are someone who's just traveling in that pace of whatever you are doing, just know that it takes strength to be there. And why I have bought this poem today here is, most of you would be thinking like, why did you name it as like something like Same Shade and Different Year? You have to know that life is a circle. You're gonna see a similar situation, you are going to meet similar people in different kind of experiences, and it is going to be a whole new lot of scenarios or events that's gonna happen. But that doesn't change the fact that you have gone through the same thing, and now you are going through a different thing in a totally different manner. So that's why I named this poem as Same Shit and Different Year. It's just that it's the same thing, but you meet it different year in different forms and in different shapes. But it doesn't change the fact that you are going through the same thing. And how do you stop from going through the same thing? It is when you realize that how to bring in control of that situation, or how to bring in control of your emotions, of not getting affected by that particular shit that's happening in your life, if I am putting it across rightly. So you can be asking, okay, so I try to control myself, but what if it gets worse? When it gets worse, what is the first thing that you want to do? I am asking this generally because I don't have an answer to, because I don't know what I would do. I think probably I would sit and cry to my friends and to my family that this thing happened. That would be the first thing that I would do. But what is that one thing that you would do? Just think about it, and if you find an answer, then just analyze if that's the right way for you to react to those worst conditions. If not, just think about what is that one thing that you would want to do to fix that situation. So similarly, you all know that Daisy is still going through a different phase. Now she writes here, will you remember that I sat next to you like this? Just imagine that person to whomever she is writing, she is sitting next to that person with a lot of pain. This could happen to you as well. You would be disappointed with your husband, you would be disappointed with your wife, you would be disappointed with your friend, you could also be disappointed with your siblings. But when you are sitting next to them, would they even realize that you are actually, sitting next to them with that feeling of disappointment? Do you think that people have that courtesy, or would have that concern to understand in what kind of situation you are sitting next to them? How do I face you after all the things we have let happen to us? Imagine that you both have a very serious conversation, just like Daisy has it with her own roommate. She is having a lot of conversations. She is very upset with her, and she yet have to face her because there is no other choice. Even you could be in that situation. You will have no choice because you will have to talk to your husband, right? But he has disappointed you. And how would you actually try to, analyze these situations? Some nights your words slip through my neck and I relive the past that I don't want to remember. You know what? People make a big mistake. And you know what's the big mistake? They always say, think before you talk. Think before you talk. Think twice. Because once you say things, you cannot take it back. You cannot not only take back the words, but what you have let certain things happen to certain people in their life. Sometimes somebody is working hard. Just imagine that Daisy is working hard towards her goals, and you go to Daisy and say that, you know what, you are literally making a joke right now. You're literally making a joke of yourself right now. You think that you can make your goals work out? No. You are letting her down. And that one situation of she feeling bad about you and your words will remain in her for a very long time. Of course, Daisy is gonna make it. She's not gonna take your things into your heart or into her heart or whatever it is. But she is going to make sure that she doesn't forget what you said and how you made her feel. That is very important. How you make others feel is very important. Certain people in life are trying their best to, forget certain things, and they are trying to heal from certain things. For example, it could be you would have gone through major traumas during your childhood that you don't want others to give you certain hinges that relive those and think about those days and make yourself go through a tons of you know pasts that replay in your head. You don't want to go through it, but what if you become a reason for someone to go through that kind of a pain? And that's what happens to Daisy here. So Daisy has a friend called, let's name that friend as Lavender. So Lavender and Daisy are very good friends. They are classmates. They are sharing their room together, and they have been trying to understand each other. But you need to understand that the Lavender's intentions are not right. She tries her best to pick up a situation and say meaningful and awful stuffs to her. Now, how is that making any betterment or in any formation of a bond in a relationship towards, a betterment? It is just being very disgusting that the person is taking advantage of the situation and is extracting power. I really like this one quote from, not a quote exactly, I really like this song called Marjorie by Taylor Swift. You obviously know that I am a Shifty and I really like Taylor Swift songs. And there's this one song that's called Marjorie that was dedicated to her grandmother. And the first line is, never yield so much power, you'll forget to be kind, and never be so kind, you will forget your power. So that is so deep. I just don't know how exactly the lyrics is, but I remember this one exact line so well that just don't yield power because you'll forget to be kind, and if you be kind you'll forget your power. And this is so true. When you yield power over certain people, you forget to be kind, you forget to be humble, you forget what is humanity, how is to be in a place where you give integrity. But when you are being humble and kind, people extract your power, and that's what exactly the song means. And I was like, wow. And I thought I'll bring it out here, because whoever is listening to me, somebody is yielding power over you, somebody is extracting power over you. They want to control you, they expect certain things from you, and they want you to behave in certain way. It could be your parents, your friends, or whoever it is. I feel that this is very stupid enough for people to yield power over you, because nobody has a right over you, right? Because you are someone who is very beautiful enough, and if you are behaving in a certain way, that is you, and nobody has power or control over it. And that's what happened to Daisy. Daisy is being, she is being in control of this person Lavender, and she is extracting power. And this is how this happens to me as well sometimes. Sometimes people just take control over me, and I wouldn't know what's happening, and I would be like, wait, what? Did you just take decision for me? Wow, you never let me sit and analyze my own problem, rather you took decisions for me, and that's very wrong. And this is what happens with most of the people. And when this happens, people just go so down in their life, and you could be also in that place where you just don't know how to react, and you are just very annoyed with whatever happened to you. And this in the towards the end, I wrote a line that I drank these dark memories to kill myself. And every time I visited my graveyard, I moaned to myself, no person deserves this, and I realized that includes even me. Sometimes we don't think that we are also a person, and we are also in a place where we are victims. And we don't go easy on ourselves. When something bad happens, we first tend to point fingers at ourselves. And there are people who point fingers at other people because they cannot take the blame. Like my friend's friend, she never can take a blame on her. Rather, she'll point her fingers at my friends and she'll be like, you know what, you did that, okay? And it's not my mistake. It's your mistake. You are supposed to behave in a certain way so that this doesn't happen. Rather, she doesn't sit and analyze that maybe I could have reacted in this way, so the problem wouldn't have gone overboard. And this is how people work. There are people having different things in their head and they have different ideologies, perspectives, theories that they don't want to be on the side of victim. And you need to understand that we can also be victims, not just our friends, our family. I've seen a lot of people who put others' happiness in front of them rather than putting their happiness in front of the table. And that's so, I don't know, that's very disgusting for me. You need to always be happy for yourself. You live only once, YOLO, and I believe that very much. You live only once here as whatever your name is now. Lavender lives her life as Lavender only for once, and Daisy lives her name with Daisy only once, and I live my name with Ramya only once. So why do we carry this vengeancey and disgusting feelings for a long time? Let us be happy for ourselves. Let's be glad that we came here and did something for yourself, something big. Self-identity is very important. When people talk these shitty stuffs, when they bring up like shitty stuffs in your life, it means that they are trying to break oneself's self-identity. We get into identity crisis. We don't realize who we were. Now, for example, take an example of you. Why are you like this? Because something happened to you last year and that's why you're like this. And something will happen to you this year and you wouldn't be this person the next year. The next year you wouldn't be that person because something else would have happened and you would have to change yourself in the other way. Now that is why I said same shit, different year. Life is a circle. It keeps going on and on and on. And you keep changing your point of radius in different places. But that doesn't mean that, the circle ends. The circle just keeps expanding over and over. And that's what I wanted to say in this entire podcast. I know this has been a very quite amazing thing for me to put forward something like this. You will have to know that you shouldn't be Daisy, who is bringing down her self-identity. The poem is about that. It's very hard and deep to accept. See, you can ask me, why do you write poems like this when you talk like this? But I write poems like this is because sometimes you need to have those kind of experiences or those kind of stuffs for you to grow forward. Because when you look back, you'll be like, oh my god, I was in a shitty place last year, but right now I am in a very better place. That's how you grow. That's how you evaluate your growth. And this is definitely not something that I am letting myself down, but I am writing these poems and I am curating these poems for you to understand that if you are in a situation like this, just don't think that this is the end. You have much more to experience. You have much more to go ahead in your life and understand life. So just don't get stuck in these circle of thoughts, circle of life. Rather, I want you to be more open towards your life and understand your life in a very better way, and never let people take power over you and break your self-identity. And don't go through crisis. And if you go through crisis, just don't forget to remember us, and you can definitely come and talk to us about it. You can just mail us, and you can just DM us on Instagram. Anywhere, we are always open, and you can find the links below the description if you're listening to it in the YouTube platforms. And if you are listening to it on Spotify, just note that the mail is 4am talks podcast office at the rate of gmail.com. 4am talks podcast at 4am talks podcast office at the rate of gmail.com. I'm so dumb at remembering my own email, so just don't curse me. Yeah, I'm very bad at remembering dates, email, and everything. So this is the podcast name, and you can come and DM us, and we will be happy to help you out. And it will be a very anonymous text, and you don't have to worry. We are not going to reveal your name or anything. It's just for you to feel better. So with that being said, I'll see you in another episode. Until then, take care, bye, and have an amazing week ahead. And I hope you have an amazing weekend as well. So bye.